Hi everyone, Ollie here and welcome back to the channel. Now, firstly, I need to apologise. The title of this video is slightly clickbaity, and I do apologise for that because I don't think the A-levels that I got were bad or poor as such, but the point is I want people who aren't happy with their A-levels but still want to go to med school to be watching this video. So it's you guys, if you've fallen for the title as such, that I want to speak to today. So this video is going to be about how I ended up at medical school in the UK, studying to be a doctor eventually, despite not having the A-levels that you would normally need to get there. That's what this video is going to be about. So let's start right at the beginning. My GCSEs, let's start there. This is a long time ago. I'm now 22 years old. So we're like 7 years on, 6 or 7 years. So my GCSEs, I think, were pretty much a clean sweep, A's and A stars. With a couple of B's in there as well, but point was I was doing pretty well at GCSE, happy, confident, all going fine. Then A-levels happened, and a couple of things happened to me during A-levels. Firstly, I think I wasn't really ready for the jump in the challenge of the content. I was used to kind of being, you know, top of the class. I hate that phrase, but doing pretty well in everything. I went to not doing badly in everything. I did badly in some things, but I was not in that position anymore that I had been used to being in before. I was maybe now middling, something like that. So just to clarify, for my A-levels, I chose biology, physics, chemistry, maths, further maths. I wanted the core trifecta, and I did maths and further maths on top because it was an option, so I was doing 5 A-levels. This was a very bad idea. And some things I was doing outright badly in. I was struggling, but was bad at asking for help, which was more of a pride thing. The other major thing that was happening at that time was I was in a, what I would call very toxic personal relationship at that time with my then girlfriend, I think. There was a lot going on. We both did things very wrong. That was my first girlfriend though. I didn't really know what was normal, how to handle situations like that when things went wrong. And trying to juggle that around already kind of struggling and not doing as well as I was used to doing. This led in my first year to receiving AS levels of A, B, C, C, D. So I got an A in general studies, which, considering I wanted to go to medical school, was useless. I think the B was in biology, C in chemistry, D's in maths and physics, and I had started with further maths earlier in the year, but I decided to drop it. I just couldn't seem to hack it for whatever reason, but because I'd got like an A star in maths, it seemed like a good idea. Just didn't work out, and admittedly I didn't try as hard as I should have. But just to repeat that, in terms of the AS levels that I actually received, A, B, C, C, D. Now, even if I was being really generous and my school was able to predict me 2 grades higher than what I had, so I could maybe have AAB if they were being super generous, that obviously still wasn't enough to apply for medical school. I felt really, really downhearted at this time. I thought the dream had gone. And actually, because these grades were so poor, and again, they're not poor grades. I know some people that would have been over the moon to get those grades. This is no personal comment or slight on anyone. I just mean that in terms of what I wanted, they were nowhere near close to enough. You know, you need 3 A's minimum for medical school in the UK, and they just weren't close. And I was so kind of devastated by this. I decided not to apply to university at all in that cycle. I just thought, you know what, anything that I actually want to do, I'm unlikely to be able to do with these grades. That was actually badly thought out. I'm sure I could have gotten onto some biology or biomedy type course at some uni somewhere with the predicted grades I had, but I just wasn't feeling it at that time, wasn't very happy about it, didn't apply to university at all. But then somehow I managed to get it all together. I had some really good kind of one-to-one conversations with my teachers at my sixth form school, who, to be honest, should probably have the credit for kind of giving me a kick up the arse and keeping me going. You know, that they said, we do believe in you. We're happy for you to carry on in our subjects, and we'll let you do free retakes as well of your first year. But what this essentially meant is that I would carry on into year 13. I dropped maths, so at this point I've now dropped further maths and maths. I'm carrying on biology, chemistry, physics as my 3 A levels that I'm going to go forward with. I can go into year 13 studying those, but the situation was that when I got to the exam period, I would also sit the exams for biology, chemistry and physics from the first year, from year 12 as well. So I'd be taking a double set of exams basically. And this actually wasn't a problem for university resit policies, because I was doing everything within the 2-year period that you had to do your A-levels. So I wouldn't fall prey to any rules or regulations on that. And in order to actually do better, what I ended up doing was staying at school until about 6 o'clock every single night after school, whenever I could do it. So school normally let out at about 3:30. I was doing another 2 or 3 hours at school on top of that, just forcing myself to keep working and keep studying. And I think this is really where I think I developed not the work ethic, but the ability to work hard. I probably may never have developed that if it weren't for this situation, but I was now really working hard, determined to do well, not even necessarily to get into medical school, but just to do well and actually prove to myself that I could do it and I could make a difference. And I actually have here, I have no idea whether you'll be able to see that or not, but my A-level certificates. And what I have here in this folder, this is my portfolio, but I have my 4 A-levels that I achieved. I got an A in physics, an A in biology, an A in general studies, but a B in chemistry. So was kneecapped right at the end, but actually I'm happy with the A-levels I got. I remember my teachers being so happy for me when I got those results, because it had really gone from not that great to really in the ballpark of what I did want, particularly considering where I'd started. But what do I do now? Can't get into med school with those grades, you need 3 A's. I was really happy with my results, particularly because of how things had gone. I was in a really dark place in the first year. But what do I do now? So results day, I start frantically ringing around medical schools in the UK saying, do you have any spaces left? Would you consider me with 2 A's and a B, because they don't accept general studies? And everywhere, of course, sort of said no. I hadn't done the UKCAT either. So really it was more a point of desperation for me at that time. I wasn't really thinking too carefully. But when I rang Newcastle, the admissions person that I spoke to there said, we don't ever have any places in medicine, obviously. However, we do have a space on the molecular biology program, and some students from that course have had luck applying to graduate entry medicine before. We know this is a route that people have done. So would you be interested in applying for that? And I said, I guess, yeah, that sounds good. Because remember, I hadn't applied to university at all. I had no UKCAT account, no personal statement, no references, no nothing. But this wasn't a problem. Luckily, there was this one space left on molecular biology, which I took. The woman on the other end then dealt with the whole thing. I did have to get a reference written just so they could process my application. I ended up going to my head of sixth form's house on the morning of his wedding anniversary for him to really quickly bash me out a reference. So I got that all sent off. It was all kind of dealt with very quickly. I had to sort out accommodation and stuff very rapidly. But I ended up at Newcastle, did my molecular biology degree. I achieved a first through, both luck and working hard. And I did a load of things while I was there to try and boost my application to med school. I did things like Nightline, student mentoring, volunteering. Worked a lot with the student newspaper, the Courier, which was probably the best thing I ever did during my undergrad. And then applied for grad entry medicine as I'd finished my second year of the molecular biology degree. Went for my interview in January, found out that I'd got into Warwick, and then went in September, and here we are a year later. And this isn't going to be an overly long video, but I just wanted to put it out there and to kind of make this video to make sure people see it. And I just really want to make it clear that even if things don't go to plan, everyone has pitfalls. You might not get the A levels you want. Even if that happens, there are always ways into med school. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section down below. Please be sure to hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more videos like this. Go and check out postgradmedic.com and my personal blog of life here at Warwick Medical School. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.